Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Yes, hello and welcome. Today is another episode about flood barrier price made homeowner speechless part 3. And the subtitle is called Anthony Did Not Consider Flood Doors and Flood Gates. So I want to tell you a little bit about the world of flood doors and flood gates and why it could be an alternative to traditional flood barriers, demountable flood barriers, portable flood barriers. The price is relative. It depends on the right choice of a product and its performance, not only on the investment at the day of purchase. So, let's have a look. And for all those who did not listen to the previous episodes, Anthony is a Philippine house owner who is afraid about climate change. And you know that in the Philippines, 25 typhoons hit the country and make landfall every year. And similar situations we see in other parts of the world. That means almost all over the world, from the Middle East, from Saudi Arabia, Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Cambodia. I don't name them all, up to China and South Korea, and of course Japan. So and Anthony was afraid about climate change, so he asked for the protection of his house. 3 parts can be considered. There is the protection of the house itself, the building, the garage, and the garden. That means you think about protecting the whole lot, and that makes a huge difference when it comes to the selection, to the which barriers shall you take, and it has an impact on the price as well. So the quotation that Anthony got looked good, and the offer described the kind of portable flood barriers. So to be more precise, demountable flood barriers. So is this system with stackable aluminum barriers that has vertical and horizontal seals and is compressed from the top at the left and at the right side of the barrier. So far, so good. After several meetings online, by phone and personally, Anthony realized that suddenly additional costs arise. So he was shocked in a way because he did not expect that. And suddenly the price went up, and suddenly the supplier asked for additional civil works and accessories like storage systems and other things, alarm systems and this and that. So and the price went up, and that was really shocking. So Anthony asked himself, was it the right supplier? And is it the right decision to go for demountable flood barriers? Are there other solutions available that fit better? Then he started to investigate, and in the last episode I presented the Inero mobile flood barrier that is also a portable flood barrier, but made for longer distances. So it's not made to protect one entrance, one single door or a garage only, but it redirects water perfectly, and it protects whole parts, whole lots, and also villages, municipalities, you can install it along the river, along a creek. You can put it on all kinds of surfaces, surfaces like gravel, asphalt, grass, sand, even in water. So it's declined. So that's what I described last time. And they made Inero is a Swedish product, and we are very proud that to distribute it in Asia. So the huge advantage, and that is always fascinating for me, that is why I repeat it, is that you can put 100 meter of these flat barriers in one crate to store it, and the size is like an office table. Isn't that amazing? 100 meter. Wow. Show me one other system, and it's reusable. Why? Because it's a patented system, and it comes with very tiny, thin steel or aluminum sheets. Yeah, but that was last time. Today we want to talk about flat doors and flat gates, and is that an alternative for Anthony for these aluminum barriers he was requesting? And I just want to give you an overview what kind of doors and gates are available. So when you think about a door, well, the first thing is what is a door and what is a gate? Everybody has so if you live in a house, you have a door that opens. You open the door and you go into your house. So that's the door. The same as when you live in a condominium, in an apartment. That's the same thing. You have a door. We don't call it gate. We call it door. The moment you have a door at your fence and you want to go to your lot and you open this door, it's also kind of door, but some people call it gate already because it's a gate to, not to heaven, but the gate to your lot, to your home. Anyway, the moment you talk about your garage, normally there you have, sometimes you have a double swing gate, or sometimes single swing gate, but the problem is it is very long and you have to swing it into a parking position, and you need a lot of space for that. So that is why people call it gate already. So don't be confused, whether it is called door or gate. Important is how it works. And what else? What else do we have? We have, of course, these swinging doors and gates. We have sliding gates. We have pivoting gates. So and there are also four-sided sealed doors or gates and heavy-duty gates. So, but that is already a very special thing. But at the end, they do the same thing. They are swinging in a way. But the four-sided sealed door is already protecting a whole door at all four sides. What a swing hinged flat door is not doing. A swing hinged flat door is only protecting you from the bottom and at the left and at the right side. And lift hinge flat gate, that is something what you can lower to the ground, compress it, because there is a compressible base seal, similar to these demountable flat barriers. So it's swinging and then you compress it to the ground. That is why it is called lift hinged flat gate. Some also call it lift hinge flat gate, but it's the same. And these are the different possibilities. And a four-sided sealed door protects you from all four sides, even at the top. Yeah, that is why you can make it 2 meters high. That is a typical height of a door, but of course that is available up to 2 meter 30 to 80, something like that. Yeah, depending on the size, of course, on the width of your door. Yeah, so let's start with a swing hinge flat door that I mentioned before. That is something that protects you at the bottom, and you don't compress it. So how do you make it that the water cannot get into the room, into the area behind? It's very simple. There is a door step with a ceiling, and that is an advantage, but also it is a disadvantage. The disadvantage is that you have a door step. So if you want to get in and get out quite often, so it's a little bit disturbing. Yeah, you cannot walk with a trolley, or you cannot for delivery on trolleys, for instance. It's not really helpful, but you can use a small ramp at the outer side and at the inner side. That is what people do very often, because most of the time this door is open if you use it for public daily affairs. However, there are also cases, for instance, when it comes to the lot or the building, let me say, of a pumping station or a transformer station. So these stations, they normally have a small building with one door, one window perhaps, even not sometimes. And then they have this door, what is a secure safety door. To protect this small building from the danger of floods, you need a flood door. So a swing hinge flood door is pretty good if you want to protect it, let me say up to 1 meter, 150 or something like that. Then you just install this flood door in front and you keep it permanently closed, because the service personnel is only coming for maintenance issues from time to time. Sometimes for months, nobody is going to this area. So it's pretty good, and you don't care about this doorstep, because you really don't need. And if ever one day you have to replace heavy things inside, so you need to deliver something and you don't want to carry it, you want to roll it on a trolley with wheels or something, then you put these ramps at the front side and at the back side. By the way, that is what musicians and people who organize events do daily. They always work with ramps. Delivery of food. Just next time, watch the food delivery. And when there are stairs to enter into a building, they always have some ramps, some portable ramps with a checker plate with them. So you should know it. And the lift hinge floodgate doesn't have any doorstep. It's flat and even, so that's perfectly made to protect a street. So across the street, you can do that very well to protect everything what is behind. That can be that there is a compound behind. Yeah, and at the left side, right side, you have a wall. So that perfectly fits. And maximum width is 4 to 4 meters 30, depending on the height. And then you need a middle support. So that is why for a garage with one car, it's a perfect solution if you have the space to swing this lift hinge floodgate, because you cannot install it at the pavement directly at the street, and then you want to swing it to the outer side. That means you swing it to the middle of the street. That is not possible. But it is possible to swing it to the inner side, as long as that is the only entrance and you don't use it quite often. But that is a solution I don't suggest. The better thing is that you move your whole entrance, your gate, your section, 3, 4, depending how wide it is, let me say 4 or 5 meters towards the inner side of your compound, of your lot. And then you create your own artificial wall. It's a kind of U-shape what you're doing at your lot. The advantage is your garage is a little bit at the inner side of your lot, and you can always park in front of your garage. That's a very, very good thing. And you can also install this lift hinge floodgate from the inner side of your building. Yeah, that is from a water pressure point of view, it's a negative water side, because the water is always pressing against it. But technically, it's no problem to install it. So the third one is a sliding gate. So that is it's a gate. Let me say 4 meters wide, 2 meters high perhaps. And this one is sliding. So you can, normally the functionality, the operation is with manual operation. Yeah, with manual operation. So you don't use, you don't make it automatically. But you can use a motor, of course. But this motor is operated by an officer. by a person. But that is not something what I recommend for a private house. Then you have heavy duty gates. These gates are really heavy duty and so special because you have a high requirement for the ceiling system and you still have to open it. That means imagine that this gate is so heavy that you are not able to open it. That is also not a good idea. That is why these flood doors and floodgates are not made for daily use. They are not made for that. Yeah, a swing hinge flood door, okay, you can do that. That is very easy to do. You open it in the morning, you close it in the evening. No problem with that. The lift hinge floodgate, also possible, but it is not made that you open it every hour, every 5 minutes. So it's not made for that. What else? The four-sided sealed flood door, I mentioned it already. Yeah, that is used when you are afraid that your house or your door of your building might be flooded up to the upper edge, up to the door frame, at the top of the door frame. And then, of course, you must protect the door from the top. At the same time, do not forget to protect your windows, because once the water will get into the door, let me say up to 2 meters, certainly your windows are affected. Yeah? The height of the windows outside, I think it's about 1 meter or something like that, plus the window, another 1 meter. So then, of course, the water will already find the way through the window. So you also should think about windows protection with demountable barriers as well. There are honeycomb solutions, very lightweight, but that's not the topic for now. Yeah, that is how it works. And the question now is, will that work for Anthony's entrance door, for the terrace door, for his garage, for the main door? Yes, swing hinge flood door, I mentioned already, that will work, but it will not replace your door. Yeah? You always need your main door, and you put the swing hinge flood door in front of it. But it is only possible if you have space. I always call it for the parking position. Yeah, when this most of the time of the year, you don't need it. In the Middle East, for instance, they always tell me we only need it 5 days. In the meantime, they changed their opinion. They say, we need it several weeks already because it's raining quite often compared to before. Yeah, and when you are in a rainy season area in the Philippines, in Malaysia or Vietnam, you have more and more frequent rainfall, and then you operate the flood barriers more often. So you need a space for the parking position when you swing it. So when you open this flood door, the best is you park it at your wall next to the door. But there must be space. If there is no space and there are obstacles, then you cannot do it. That is why architects should already consider it just before the construction of the house starts. Later, it becomes more expensive. And if you only need it from time to time, then this doorstep is not a big deal. If it is always kept open, unless you close it during the typhoon, hurricane, or cyclone announcements, or when really the bad weather, the heavy rain is coming. There's no problem, because at this moment when you close it in the evening and you go to bed, nobody is using this doorstep. But it depends on the situation, how many people live in a house and so on. For the garage, the opening width for 2 cars, 5 meter, is too wide. So Anthony has a garage with 2 cars, for 2 cars. So that is too wide for him. He cannot use it. Even with a lift hinge floodgate, that will work with 1 car. I told you, as long as you have space for the parking position. But for 2 cars, the opening width normally is about 5 meters. And I measured it in my garage. I was curious. That's exactly 5 meters opening width. You can use 2 lift hinge floodgates, but then you need a middle support, and one is swinging to the left side, one is swinging to the right side. That is a very expensive solution, and if that is one garage like mine that has no post in the middle, this garage opening, the 5 meters, then why should you install a middle support for the lift hinge floodgates, even a demountable one? But it's very complicated to install it again and again for a private homeowner. Yeah, for a hotel, for industry, there's no problem to do that because they have the tools, they have the stuff, they are used to that, that's okay. And normally there's always operation ongoing. So that's not a good idea for Anthony. But for the terrace door, yes. And that means it's one stress less when it comes to the installation in case of emergency. So, but for his home, Anthony did not consider the flood doors and the floodgates. However, for the terrace, he was doing because that he only needs from time to time. So that's a good thing. Okay. In the next episode, we talk about the automatic systems. And we continue with flood barrier price made homeowner speechless. And think about all solutions, even if they do not give the right solution yet, but they help you to find your questions to evaluate the price for your final decision for your flood protection project. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day, do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode, I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with the new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.thefloodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering, German quality, safe, flood protection secrets, the secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.